Welcome to the Global Center of Christ Consciousness. Please welcome our musical guest, Ananda Das.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to be here with you all. You guys want to sing a little? It's really easy. We'll just say Sita, and Ram. Beautiful. Say Hare Ram. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Yeah. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Sita Ram, Ram Ram. 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 Bolo Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Sita Ram, 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 Sita Ram. Sita Ram, Sita Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Bolo Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Sita Ram, Ram 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 Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai 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 Ram.
Settling into our heart centers, we find a place of sincerity. Sincere prayers to you, O Lord, Father, Mother, God. We ask for your presence to descend into our being, filling our heart, mind, body, soul, every particle of our being aflame with the love, the presence of God. We give thanks in advance that you have created us in your perfect image of light, that we are the love, light, joy, peace, abundance that you are. Now, help us to peel away all contrary opinions and judgments, all thoughts, all experiences of limitation gone. Let them be peeled away so there's room left instead for your presence. The weeds uprooted, and now the presence of God, holiness, invited back into the place it was meant to be since the beginning of time. And now it's up to us to decide that we choose nothing but this love. We choose no longer to be distracted or to replace the presence of love with anything else. Let the will of God, which is love, peace, joy, and abundance, be done in and through us and extended to all other beings.
Please take a moment to breathe in the following quote from Mahatma Gandhi. We but mirror the world. All tendencies present in the outer world are to be found in the world of our body. If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world change towards him. Carefully watch your thoughts, for they become your words. Manage and watch your words, for they will become your actions. Consider and judge your actions, for they have become your habits. Acknowledge and watch your habits, for they shall become your values. Understand and embrace your values, for they become your destiny. And so it is. Please join me in reading our mission statement, which is located on the white cards in the seat backs in front of you. And together we say, the Global Center for Christ Consciousness is a spiritual center for students and masters on the spiritual path. We are dedicated to awakening the inner Christ and to creating a world of love, peace, joy, and abundance, and so it is. And now please welcome back Ananda Das.
Putting on the bells and whistles here.
You'll travel and all the things you'll see and all the lives you'll live and all the things you'll be traveling on this road ever towards the one. Halo, white as the snow, flies the dove of love, perched on my shoulder now, and nuzzles against my cheek, telling me what's to be. One dove's dedication to the flower of life. This is one dove's dedication to the flower of life. To live from the heart is to live to be free, and give thanks to the mother, for she is the seed. When we came from the stars and the heavens to the seas, to the earth where we placed our own bare feet, she embraced us with her love and said, you are a welcome child of God. But take care of the land, from there you will eat. Keep the waters clean, from there you will drink. The sun rays gold will bathe your soul, and the air you breathe in will energize the whole of your being, connected to all that is. This is one dove's dedication to the flower of life. This is one dove's dedication to the flower of for reverence for life, and all you perceive for this life is the one you make it to be, and let grace fall upon you, for you will know that you are infinity. Yeah. So I'm giving her all my love to the flower of life. Oh, I'm giving her all my love to the flower of like, I'm giving her all my love to the flower of life. Yeah. Oh, I'm giving her all my love to the flower of life. Yeah. I'm giving her all my love. One more time. I'm giving her all my love. One more time. I'm giving her all my love to the flower of life.
Way cool. How's everyone feeling? Need a pen. Good stuff, huh? Thank you. Yes. Can you share, please, what topics you would like me to cover today? What is it? Despair? Nice. I like that.
The holy elixir.
Okay. That's it? Marrying.
Oh, and clover. Very important.
Yes.
Dance.
Yes. Yes. What is it? Thank you. I'm giving up all. Yeah. Yes.
Compassionate witness.
Okay, thank you guys. Nice. Oh, yes. And a couple people emailed this week. We usually do get feedback, people asking for other topics. So I typically take what was already asked and some downloads I get with that and then mix that with the things you're asking about into a nice experience, you know, whatever that is, whether it's emotional depth, spiritual heights, all these things. And I see it all as having relevance. What we share here isn't just the spiritual heights. I love navigating the emotional depths, or our hurts and despair. One of you brought up challenges in life, not to embellish on them, not to inflate them, but to first let's start with just holding space for those things and letting them kind of unravel a bit and be held in love, and so it's kind of a nice. It's all about balance. And I think it was last week, because one of you asked about this for this week. I did mention last week, once in a while you guys will bring up things like the 3D world, AI, and so forth. And I made a comment last week and said, what people need is the I am, not the AI. So elaborating on that a little bit, nearly everything on earth makes people depressed. They don't realize it. But as Buddha was conveying, people feel a void inside. Then they seek to fill the void. Where are they going to seek? They're going to seek in the world to find something to help fill the void. So they go out looking, and he's telling you, and if you find something to fill it, that eventually that thing will go, and then you're going to be depressed again. If you don't find it, you're going to be depressed in the first place. So you have a void, you go looking for something to fill the void or distract you from feeling the void. It will not last, you're going to end up depressed. Or if you don't find anything at all, you're going to be depressed. And he's saying, so it's kind of hopeless. And yet there's another way. So the way I'm going to play with that for a second, what do you find to fill the void? Well, you God and all that. Sure, yes, that's the answer. But what if you don't even have a void? Because even if you think you need to fill the void with God, it implies there's a void. So that's a solution, is to find God that can fill the void, something eternal that can fill the void, not things that are of this world. But why not also work on letting go of the opinion that we have a void in the first place? What do I mean by void? Anything that tells you you're inadequate. I don't just mean on an ego level. I mean deep in the soul. That makes you feel like you're flawed. Now, how do I know what my deep soul flaws are? Start with the ones on the surface. Start with the ones on the surface. Like, I've been abused, or I was an addict, I destroyed my life, I lost my family, this, that, the other. Start with those things, because those are actually not the cause of your problems. Those are symptoms of the deeper feeling that we're flawed. That's why we manifest all these other things. Those things are not the problem, but they're signs that something's off in us. And I mean, we need the word depressed. Everybody's depressed from being on this world. The word depressed means deep rest. You need deep rest. Why? Because you feel depressed. Why do you feel depressed? Because everything makes me feel everything in this world. We need deep rest from hatred, from judgment, from self-abuse, from addiction. We need deep rest. Instead, we let these things depress us. But you need deep rest. But you're not going to get rest by sleeping more, and you're not going to even get rest by dying. Although, may you rest in peace. But even death, and people think, I'm so depressed, I need to check out. It's not going to be a solution. I don't condemn you. I actually get what you're feeling. I get it. I get the despair. I have reached my limit. What am I going to do? And in this world, there's no answers. So you're going to continue to need deep rest, because everything in this world is lying to you. So there's a thing called the ego, evil, but the ego, that has created an artificial world. And it's really remarkable. It's such a perfect plot, because it fabricates not the real world of love, God. It fabricates a world of things that come and go, and you never know what's happening next. And you better watch out. Be stressed, be anxious, because you just never know when the other shoe will drop. You don't know who's going to take your money or your life or whatever it's going to be. So be afraid, be very afraid, as they say. But that's not Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness. That's the ego, that's the Antichrist. So the Antichrist that we're hearing about in the book of Revelation and elsewhere, that Antichrist is a being, a consciousness that is trying to control the world. But it can, because it's artificial intelligence instead of universal intelligence. That's what we should be listening to, universal intelligence. No, thank you, universal intelligence. I've got another idea. I've got an artificial intelligence that can advise me. It's so bizarre. And the artificial intelligence is brilliant in its falseness. It actually manufactures a world that isn't here, a world that you should be worried about, so that you go to it for solutions. Do you see what I mean by that? The perverseness? It's amazing. I'm going to convince you that you're flawed, like these magazines. I don't know if they still have them on the end of a grocery line, telling you what you better watch out for this, or 10 ways to become beautiful. I need to know that. And then you flip to it and start, you need to do this and that. And then you got people at home grinding up pickles and mixing it with lettuce and putting it on their face overnight. And then they've got to wash their sheets in the morning because it's a mess. And now you need a new detergent. But the magazine will tell you detergents to clean salad from your sheets. So this artificial intelligence isn't just technology. It's been around since time began, because time's an illusion. So since the beginning of time, artificial intelligence, falseness, the ego, created a false world. It created false power. When kingdoms took over other kingdoms, it's a fake power. It's not real power. In fact, your lack of believing you have power makes you want to invade other kingdoms. And then it gave you other bizarre things to believe in. False versions of self-worth. False versions of success. The more money you have, that's the establishment. That's how you know if you're successful. You know, what you have, they're all lies. But you can't question it because the whole world is in a trance that the artificial, fake universal, the artificial intelligence put everybody in. Now, that's terrible, by the way, that this has been done to us. But it can't be done if you don't want it. We have allowed ourselves to be lulled into a fake self. Where's my real self? That's the Christ that I am. And the more we allow the fake world to determine how we feel, then the more we're in trouble. So, like, there's these commercials that'll say, they're going to sell you medication. But it's just like the artificial intelligence that controls everything. I'm not talking conspiracy. I'm talking, this is hilarious in a way. But it'll tell you, it's got to grab you and make you think you need to buy it, the medication. And it'll say things like, do you have fingernails? That could be a sign of an illness, of needing this medication. Like some of the things they say. Do you find yourself tired sometimes? Yeah. Once in a while, Oh, what? Well, that could be, don't tell me. I had a feeling about that. Do you dream at night? Yes, that's it. Then you're really in trouble. And then you need whatever the medication. It's always 2 or 3 syllables, so it's dumbass if, or what. Sorry. But it's like, seriously, it's just something, It's like, and you need that. By the time the commercial's done, it tells you things you're going to need to cover up what this thing's going to do to you. Because it's legal, they have to tell you that. But as they're telling you that, they show pictures of happy people. Oh, look, you're distracted. But that's the Wizard of Oz all over again. Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain because he's pulling the strings. Now, this you cannot fight this thing, AI. You can, and I'm talking about big, the consciousness of the ego that controls seemingly the world. It's fake. These people that thought you have power when you can take over other countries and move people like slaves over here, like it's all craziness. We're powerful because we have more weapons, or we're powerful because we enslave people. It's all fake, and it's all compensatory because somebody's missing something inside. What the dictators need is the presence of God. What the people need that are being fooled by the dictators need the presence of God. Everybody just needs remembrance. When you remember, everything starts to become clearer. I don't have to read the magazines to tell me what I need. I already have a sense of what that is. Instead of 10 things you shouldn't watch out, and watch out for this and do this or else and all that scary stuff. It's just the fake world trying to convince us to go into this trance so that we're susceptible to whatever it wants us to buy. And it's all strange. But this artificial intelligence that is the ego, it can fabricate anything now. There are videos made of people, interviews. Let's pretend it's a famous musician, a politician, an actor. They have videos of people. There's no way you can even tell that it's artificial. And it's not an actual interview. It's so strange. Now, it's one thing that they pulled it off with audio. So I saw some things once and I was going, no way, that never existed. It could be like a song the Beatles recorded and nobody knows about it. And I'm like, that's curious. Let me go. And I'm like, that is the Beatles. And it's not. AI made a song and it sounds just like them. And it's fake. But that's one level. There's now interviews with people that never took place. You cannot tell that it's fake. And this is this very strange reality that people are getting lulled into now. No, a lot of us are going, oh yeah, I don't really like that. But you can't escape it. There's only one way out of succumbing to this, and that is awakening to who you are so that you don't get lulled into who you're not. But you've got to awaken. That takes tenacity. It's not easy to say, well, I'm just going to choose the I am presence because the whole world is saying no. This is partly what Jesus meant by, if you get persecuted for my name's sake, see through it. Be happy about it in a way. I'm paraphrasing. But because he's saying, when you, not just his namesake as you might interpret, Anytime you even speak up or live your life in a way that says, I'm not buying into the ego, you're going to be under attack by that very thing you're saying no to. I mean, no sooner do you decide to diet, and it's funny. Immediately, I'm going to start dieting. Oh, let's see, what time is it? I'm going to start dieting. I'm going to go on a fast, 24 hours. And I mean, it has to be like miraculous. It's bizarre, synchronicity. No sooner do you swear, that's it. I'm seeing through a lot of stuff. I need to meditate. I'm going to fast for 24 hours. And the damn Girl Scouts are at your door with those cookies. Like, you can't even 60 seconds, man. And then you're like, okay, after this box of Girl Scout cookies, I am definitely fasting, I saw this comedian once go, he said, people are so weak. He's going, they talk about becoming healthier and New Year's resolutions and fasting. And he's going, Gandhi was strong. He goes, but the average human being says, I will not eat again until there's world peace. Wait, is that a Butterfinger? Like your mind gets so easily distracted. There's false forms of all these things, including security. You know what you need. You better protect your house. You better protect your car. You need insurance. You need this, you need this, you need this. Medication. Take this because, you are at that age. A friend once said, hey, listen, since you haven't been to a doctor for 80 years, there's a guy, you could go see him and just have blood work. And I went and had blood work. He goes, how old are you? And I told him, and he's going, this can't be right. You have to have problems because at this age, there's got to be this and this and this. I'm going, well, I feel pretty good. He's going, well, no, we got to get you on something just in case. Yeah. So I okay. And now I'm like this. I believe in being humble. If I go to a chiropractor and they say, do this, I'm going to do it. I love following the instructions of people whom I put my hands in, in my life into their hands. So I go, okay. So I took this stuff and like half my hair fell out. And I'm like, like I thought there were rats in the base of my shower. I'm like, what is that? I thought it was critters, like fur balls. Because I was taking this thing that he said you absolutely must. Now, I'm not saying it's not true that you might take something, and all that, but it's like, wow. And I've talked to friends that are doctors and they go, oh man, no, don't do that. Now I'm hearing that. But there are people out there selling you things you don't need, and they're going to have side effects because you didn't really need them. So you really have to find a sense of alignment in here. Does it feel right? Does it feel true? But you have to stick with what you decided. If you believe that someone's, they say you're low on this or you're low on iron, we need to put you on some iron and give you this herb to help assimilate the iron, etc. Iron plus C, vitamin C, whatever it is. If you're going to go with it, go with it. Instead of, look what they've done to me. Go with it. If you're going to buy insurance, buy it wholeheartedly and not think, blame them if it's insurance that didn't work for you as well as you hoped, whatever it happens to be. When somebody said you need to buy life insurance, it's always a regret when you buy life insurance. If you lived longer than the duration of you start to go, I guess I shouldn't have bought that. I just wasted $30,000 on life insurance that I would have gotten $2 million on. Would you rather die? So you have to take responsibility and figure out what works for you. What is the artificial world telling you? And stop listening to that. But again, it gets tricky because the world will find all kinds of reasons to wrong you for not wanting to buy into the artificial world. You could say, I'm going to start eating more healthy, more organic. No sooner do you do that, you drive by a fast food place and there's a demon calling to you from that place. You go by McDonald's and the Hamburglar is out there just, it's out there going, I got you, man. I know you want one of these burgers, and you're like, It's all you that you're facing. The demons you face are only able to reflect exaggerated stuff within us, our own doubts and fears. Memories of abuses only have the power that we give them. I'm not saying to ignore that you've been hurt. I'm saying the power you allow it to have today is a choice. You might not feel like you had much choice then, but now you do. So this artificial world needs to give you artificial identities. Now, something that's very popular today, people will use the word identify. I identify as male or female, Republican, Democrat, whatever it happens to be. I identify as. That's really interesting wording. You know, who are you? I identify as gay or straight, black or white, whatever it happens to be. None of these are true. None of these are accurate. Now, identify with whatever you want. You have free will. What I'm saying is the artificial world is looking for those fake identities because they limit you. If I am just a male, I'm already half a person. I'm already missing my other. Where's the female? Now I'm a male, but I'm a certain race and a certain this and a certain that, a certain age. Narrow, 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 narrow. It just keeps honing in. By the time you're done identifying with things, who are you? You're like nothing left. Out of all the possible nationalities down to the genders, cuts it in half in the first place, and keep going from there. What religious beliefs, whatever culture, narrow, narrow, narrow. Why doesn't everybody just see that and go, no, that's not of interest to me? Identify as a holy child of God. First of all, because that's the only thing you really are. That's not just a suggestion. Why not just go for it and identify as a child of God? Or you could put it in a bigger word, I am as God created me. I am the living Christ on earth. You really are. But we don't all get that. Instead, we're going to go, I'm this or that. I'm Republican or Democrat. And these are groups of people. Now, one of those two groups, I won't say which one of those groups loves to keep you in one particular identity. You know, whether it's, white, Christian, blah, blah, blah. One of those groups says, just be as we've always wanted you to be. And the other group's going, we're going to just keep making up other identities just to piss them off. I'm hybrid, Orion, reptilian, Zeta Reticulan, Italian. Okay, now you have to have more acronyms and letters to identify. Zeta Reticulan. I'm a Z, R, reptilian, R, P, F. By the time you're done identifying as initials and acronyms, you've gone through the alphabet a few times. Now you're Czechoslovakian, just all these letters. Wow. And it's because the ego, and it's really impressive. The ego says, shop in God's store, and you have to conform to just the one thing God has to offer. Shop in my store, and you can have any identity you want. Look what games, man, the little serpent games, the forked tongue, as the natives would call it. You're playing games here, man. I'm promising you all these things. You could have honor. People will respect you. People will fight for you. And they never did in the past. But if you have some new identity, they'll fight for you. And both sides are crazy. And then it leaves you needing deep rest. Depressed. Because I don't know who to believe anymore. They keep lying to me, and I don't know what to do. But I do know this. If I go to one group, at least I feel like I belong to something. If I go to the other group, I believe I'm belonging to something. That's a fake thing too. Fake identity. Because you need to belong, you go to these groups, and now you're empowering them to continue with their behaviors. Listen, if you're going to vote ever for a politician or a party, my suggestion is go with the one that has in their platform, we're going to nurture not these, not that, but the Christ that you are. If someone says, hey, listen, that's the number one thing is from now on, we're going to start learning to see the Christ in people. And we're going to start treating people like they have the Christ within. That should be the platform. Till that day, you may not want to mess with any of it. But if you try to identify as a holy child of God, yeah, man, the world is absolutely against you. You asked about alignment. I like the word, one of the words you gave was dance. When you feel the presence of God like King David did, he just started dancing. And he started even throwing off his clothes. It's like, I don't even want to feel the weight of clothing on me because I feel so free. Even my skin is too much. You see, it's like I just feel so alive, and you're dancing in the light. That's fantastic. And I remember my friend Alan Cohen, I remember doing a talk at a conference. He was doing a talk, and he said, because people are like, how do we manifest abundance? Money, money, money. They want to know, because that's a big deal at the time. That was starting to get popular. How do we manifest more money, and how do we get more abundance? And Alan, he's always like, well, it's always like he's on Quaaludes or something. I'm kidding. Sorry, Alan. I'm kidding. But he's like, well, the real essence of abundance is that it's abundance. So when you feel so happy, you start moving your buns. That's what abundance is. And he's up there doing this little thing, to the audience, and nobody expected that. We're like, what's the secret of getting more money? No, it's not what you get. It's you feel this presence, and then you start doing abundance, Living in alignment. Living in alignment. There's great systems of body-centered therapy. Alexander techniques, Feldenkrais, some of these, that talk about alignment, where your skull is properly aligned over your body, your skeleton, your body, your muscles and all. But you're really feeling very aligned instead of like a postured right, left, center, forward, back. You're learning to physically be in alignment, but that's a metaphor of consciousness. My consciousness is in alignment. If I know who I am, not settling, I need to date. Why do you need to date? Because I need a partner. So who are you? What are you identifying as? Lonely. So if I identify as lonely, I now need a partner because my identity calls for it organically, right? But what if I'm not lonely? Now I don't need anything. I am. I feel really good. I feel really healthy. I feel centered in who I am. And nothing matters now. If I'm gay, I'm organically gay. If I'm straight, I'm organically straight. Whatever is, it comes from my inner self. It's an amazing thing because people keep doing to become instead of being and then letting everything else emanate from that. And we say that. It's been said, and it's easily to say. But to live in that, man, it becomes challenging. I have to say that it's kind of like being a walk-in all the time, where all of a sudden you don't identify. A walk-in means you might have left your body, and another soul might have said, well, your body is in decent health. You left for whatever reason, you had an option, open the window open, the door open, you stepped out. So another soul, I'm not talking about demonic things in possession, but another being might say, well, I'll borrow that body for 10 years because I got 10 years on my karma still. So let me come in and pay some time. They come in and they're like totally different. That person comes out of a coma and they're like, I don't recognize my life. I don't remember it. All of a sudden this person's like, instead of an accountant, they're like a poet. They're like an artist. How did they learn to paint? Mom, you never knew how to paint. I know, isn't it amazing? And they're painting. That's kind of like being a walk-in when you say, I'm done with the outer identities, the false identities. I'm a child of God. It's kind of like that, the walk-in, in the sense that it feels kind of foreign. You're going to feel, there's a word I often use, which is disorientation. You're going to feel this strange disorientation. Your inner self, the world, as you brought up the word mirroring, the world is a mirror of how you're doing inside. If inside I'm identifying as all these human limiting things, and I know you love some of them, but if they're human identities, they're limited. They're fake, but they're limited, and they're temporary. So imagine the day as it's coming. Imagine the day when the universe says, you're no longer allowed to hold anything fake. You're no longer allowed to be a limited being in any way, shape, or form. We're going to remove poverty from you. We're going to remove abuse from yours, memory, addiction from yours. What if we let all those go? And we should. But the world keeps manufacturing more identities, false identities. What's building is an angst inside because part of us knows. We're talking fifth dimensional. We're talking ascension. You don't get to ascend with your 3,000 false identities. So that means something is coming. Be prepared because there's the false life you had. There's the taken away of those false things, and there's the reality. I am as God created me. In the meantime, I'm this. At some point, it all falls away. Now, how do you do it? You have to go and find every one of them and go after it and tackle each one. No, that's way too much work. You call on the Holy Spirit of God. You call on the Divine Mother and say, Mother, listen, I know you birthed me once upon a time as the Christ. Since then, I have forgotten who I am. And I've kind of fostered myself out to 3,000 different labels and titles. So I have a rebirth in all kinds of false forms. But I'm calling on you for the second coming of Christ, which is me remembering who I am. She created me in the first coming of Christ. Now it's time for the second coming. It's one metaphor of that story, okay? So call on the Mother. Call on the Divine Mother. Remind me who I am. And own that you're going to have moments where it feels foreign, where you just kind of, and it won't just be you, it'll be people that are going to, criticize and for you living in, blessed are you who follow my name, that you live for a better life. You're going to take some hits. I don't know if any of you remember, there's a song from the 80s. I don't drink, I don't smoke, what do you do? I don't drink, I don't smoke, what do you do? Subtle innuendos follow. That's Adam Ant. And what he was saying, these interviewers, they come and they say, so who you sleeping with? And what drinks, and what drugs? His interviews are going, I don't drink and I don't smoke. And they're saying, well, what do you do? Don't drink, don't smoke, what do you do? And then it goes, subtle innuendos follow. Like there must be something inside. Like they're telling him, no. If you don't drink or smoke, you're weird, man. There's something wrong with you. He could have said, how do you know what's wrong with me? Would have been that I'm a drinker, smoker, et cetera, et cetera. That would have been enlightening for them, but they can't hear that. I love when I hear things like that. People writing songs that, like the ones you heard today, that are reflecting not only the illusion of this world, but a better option. There is a way. So Buddha's saying, this is not going to work. You're going to suffer in this world. However, there's an answer. Remembering who you are. The first problem is ignorance, which means you forgot who you are. And then you went crazy and went and found all these false identities, none of which work. Marriage is another. Security. Then I know I'm okay. My parents said I would never amount to anything. Look, Mom, look, Dad, I have a partner. And they've got money too, so I'm really good. And it's all fake. It's all fake. No offense. I'm not saying marriage. I'm saying the way we use things. The marriage doesn't make, the certificate doesn't make for a marriage. I remember taking my kids once when I went to speak at a conference. Usually they weren't around at things when I was teaching, but one conference they attended. And afterwards, there's a couple, two gay men. And they asked if they had a yacht. This was a conference in Florida. And they asked if I wouldn't mind, I could have my kids go on the yacht and they could take them out and, into the ocean and all that. And so they did. When the trip was done, I pulled aside the two guys and I said, I want to thank you for something. I said, at this age, my kids have never experienced a gay relationship. And what I believe you showed them was more love than they've seen in any male-female relationship. Not because I haven't seen I'm just saying there's something I really admire in what you guys are showing. And they were just like, wow. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's not just a gratuitous, hey, thanks for the boat ride. I don't think like that. I watch and I listen and I feel and I go for deeper meaning to things. And I sincerely thanked those people, those guys, because my kids were not going to be taking on a fake program of what other people say about gay or straight or whatever it happens to be. So there's this fake world. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Welcome back, my friends, to a show that never ends, right? Yeah, we're glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. There behind a glass, there's a real blade of grass. Be careful as you pass. Move along, move along. Come inside. The show's about to start, guaranteed to blow your head apart. He's describing like futuristic. He's saying the world is so fake, it's all going to be, artificial. One day, it'll all be just electronics running everything. Even a blade of grass, you'd have to view under a piece of glass, under a dome of glass protecting it, because nothing's real anymore. Strange, cool song, but very prophetic. And you see these people writing, because at some level, these artists and poets and sensitive people, painters, they could see something else is happening here. God bless the sensitives, not the left brain types that shoot it down and say those are the critics that shoot things down, but the artists that are saying, hey, listen, all I know is this is how I see. I remember an artist once, and she was very much into Impressionism. She was into Van Gogh and Gauguin and all these different artists. And they're kind of strange. It's kind of strange art. I love pre-Raphaelite art. It's just so cool and sharp and clear, beautiful. Lots of angels and certain things they do in pre-Raphaelite art. But this other style, it's kind of odd. Everything's kind of blurry in that form of art. Do you get what I mean by that? So I said to her, she's like, oh, that's everything for me. I'm like, wow. So can you tell me, I'm going to ask you an honest question. I love asking questions and learning. What the type of, doesn't that look odd? Isn't it kind of like a blurred look? And she said, yes. And she said, you know why? Because those artists are seeing things vibrating. So they're not sharp and clear like pre-Raphael art. Those artists are seeing everything vibrating, so it's buzzy looking. You see what I just said there? Yeah. And I went, whoa. Now, the label I would have had in my mind about that art being, why would anybody paint anything blurry? Now it's like, oh, no. Now, oh my God, the mind opens and you get it. And that's in this world, these labels. When you think you see something and have an opinion about it, race, gender, political, whatever, all that. I know nothing. What does know is God. So ask to put on the mind of Christ. Ask to see through God's eyes, through the Divine Mother's eyes, because she can't see any of the stuff we're seeing. So all the seeming limits and labels, they're waiting to fall away, but they can't fall away unless we allow them to fall away. Again, back to your word, mirroring. The world is going to mirror where we're at inside. So when we're asleep, it mirrors, look at this, everybody's in a trance. Everybody's following old paradigms. When we wake up, it's going to mirror that. You don't get to ascend and have it fix everything for you. You have to ascend. You have to get this inside. We have to get our consciousness to change, then the world changes. I'm like everybody else. There's days I would just think, wow, if only, and wish the world would change so we could have a better life. I only wish the gas prices went down and things like that, right? You can wish all you want. What you're really saying is, this is all out of control. And if only this or this would happen, it would be better, and it will not. You praying for the gas prices to come down, you praying for a disease to be gone, it's good intentions. That's wonderful. What I'm saying is we have to heal ourselves. Be the peace you would like to see in the world. Be the love you want to see. Well, that's not any fun, because then I got to work on myself. I just want it to be better. Somebody annoys me. If only they weren't in my life, I would be happy. No, you'd manifest somebody else annoying, because wherever you go, there you are. So you can't escape yourself. So everything is this perfect mirror. Living in alignment means, first and foremost, back to God. Then allowing the presence, and I don't even know what that looks like, what that is. Then ask for it. Whatever you are, God, wherever. You use whatever humble wording, but go to God. Secondly, allow God to pour down into your heart and start restoring your real identity. Then that pours down into the lower centers, reflecting out into your life, where this true identity will sometimes get challenged, because I sometimes had beliefs that I wasn't a divine being. Well, while I still have residual pieces of that, the world's going to mirror that. But the world's also going to start mirroring. As Buddha sits below the Bodhi tree, and when the rains come, the tree bows to protect him. From the sun, the trees bow to protect him. That may sound fanciful and so forth, but it isn't. It may sound fairy tale. It isn't. Miracles can happen to mirror our consciousness as well as the illusions do. So when we make room for miracles, which means expand your beliefs, but not just about how you can create a miracle, Expand your beliefs about who you are. Just learn to say, I don't know, but God does. Show me, God. Yeah, but which God am I praying to? Is it the Father, the Mother? Is it the Son? Is it Christ? Is it Jesus? Is it angels? Is it Shiva? Is it Lakshmi? I mean, which one do I? It doesn't matter. Just pray to God. And God can go, oh, hold on. Hi, I'm Shiva. Right? Or it can go, I'm Jesus. Died for your sins. Or God will mirror whatever you need because God just wants you to join with God. And God will say, I'll put on any wardrobe you want. I'm not saying like this isn't blasphemous. I'm saying the love of God will meet you where you're at. And if you say today, I need a very austere, hello, beloved. This is God. Or, angels, and they're like, you forgot your wings. Oh, poof. Because they need wings on earth. They need to see us with wings. Yeah, but wings we're not birds. I know, just put on the damn wings and impress them. So they do that. No offense, man, but, and then all of a sudden it's your different past life, different feelings, memories, and Hindu past life, and, and a different God comes through and you're like, I believe, because it's matching what you want. That's not blasphemous. It's the love of God meeting you where you're at. And so somebody's out there saying, God is, oh yeah? God is male, really. Okay. And God is, and they start naming these things. I saw God during a near-death experience. I heard the voice of God once when I was meditating. You're hearing through your filters, guys, no matter what. Helen, who channeled A Course in Miracles, heard through Shakespearean pentameter, and that's what went in the book. Edgar Cayce, he read King's English version of the Bible, King James. So his readings, they'll give you an aneurysm trying to read his readings. Thou musteth knoweth thine true selfeth. And it's like, just say, know thyself. But no, he's got King's English. Because that's the filter. Yours could be music, so it comes through as something like a melody, harmony. You could be poetry, painting. It could come through as parenting. If that's whatever your thing is, you're a nurturer, it's going to come through that. A filter of that. Not just the behaviors and actions of that, but the filters. A lot of wounds, a lot of hurts. It's going to come through those filters. So you're going to say, I had a near-death experience, and I saw hell. It's a crack up, these people that have near-death experiences, and they go to hell. They always see Elvis for some reason. He's not just on earth walking around. Apparently he's in hell. But they do. They see musicians. Well, it's interesting. Why? Because it's coming through the filters of their judgments about musicians. Somebody else says, I went and hell is an illusion. There's no such thing. Somebody else says hell is real. Which one's telling you the truth? Guys, it's all coming through their filters. And the ones that are really, really into this subject will not be happy to hear that. No, I saw God and it was definitely a female. That's it. No changeability to that. Every little limit, it's another mask, it's another label. You see what I'm saying there? All of these things we encounter, we have so many limiting identifications. The best thing to do is, I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. If you go to the other side, they say, okay, hold on, let's check you out. Oh, you need the angels with wings, set stage angels with wings. What else are you about? Halos. I repeat, halos. Check, we got the halos. They start dressing up for you. But imagine saying, I don't know, no limit. Oh my God, you go from one dimension of reaching heaven-like state in between lives to another, you just keep soaring through. The ability for you to ascend will not limit itself until you found a limit. It will only stop that ride when you have said, oh wait, okay, now that's as much as I can handle. How amazing that the other realms are so loving that they adapt to where we're at. And all I'm saying is, maybe stop limiting where you think you're at. While on earth, if you can't stop limiting your identifications here, you're not going to be able to do it on the other side, because the other side is also a mirror of how we're believing here. Does that make sense? So the ego offers trillions of identifications, and really God's is just one, love. And you can say love in the form of peace, joy, but it's really just love. Some people, think I need to keep this race, this gender, and that's just where they're at. But I am saying, find the limits of your identifications and you found the limits of your consciousness. And I would just recommend saying, you know what? I'm going to try this where I don't have any limits of belief. No limits. No matter how hurtful a person's been, there's no limit to forgiveness. No matter how I believe that it's impossible to manifest something, I'm just going to put it out there. Start living instead of, well, that can never happen. Start living with, well, let's try. I mean, if you already have experienced things that didn't happen, it can't be that traumatic for it to happen again that it doesn't happen. So just try living dangerously. Well, let's just see. Put it out there. The dance comes from being in alignment. The dance is the result of being in alignment. And alignment means God, true self, and seeing others as a reflection of my true self. If I look at the outer world with limits and judgments and so on, it reflects not only where I'm at in here, but it will add to my own karmic limiting beliefs. As I judge others, I'm automatically judged. Now, fundamentalism turned that into you're judged because you've been bad. You judge somebody, so now you're going to be judged by God. That's a linear interpretation. Instead, what it means is, as soon as you judge another, you've already shown that you are judging. And in your judgment, you already judged yourself. You see what I mean? Because the outer judgment is reflecting your judgments inside already. Not literal. It doesn't mean you say, well, that person's an alcoholic, it reflects I'm an alcoholic. You might not be an alcoholic. Well, what's mirroring then? Mirroring isn't always specific and exact like literal. More importantly, it's symbolic. So it's not, I see an alcoholic, so therefore I'm a latent alcoholic, or that I'm a blatant alcoholic. Instead, it's, I see an alcoholic, and what do they represent to me? That's what I need to look at. There's a person who's just so annoying. Doesn't mean I'm annoying, but it could mean I'm impatient towards annoying people. No matter what, there's a lesson here for me. And that's a very, very hard thing for people to accept. Even spiritual people, we would really like to bypass our role. You like that one? Yeah. We'd really like to bypass and just say, no, that's an annoying person. I've even got signed papers from 1,000 other people that say, they're annoying, we all agree. No, you got 1,000 signatures that mirror that much more judgment you have in yourself. No matter what they look like, our job is to say, and you can have attitude as we're closing now. You can have attitude. You can say, God, if you were asking my opinion, I'm just saying, wow. That person, wow. Annoying. You're allowed to do that as long as you end it with, but I'm willing to see them through your eyes. If you just say they're annoying, you've locked in your own consciousness, and now karmically you're already in it. When you say, but, I'm open. It's amazing. You know, God, I remember doing this one time, because I was thinking years after marriage, I was like, I wonder if I should date or do any of that kind of thing, because I'm working and touring and all that. And I thought, okay, just for the heck of it, God, I've got a situation. I would love to think about dating someone, but I'm never home. So they can't travel with me because it's too expensive and too tedious. People have jobs, They can't, I want somebody who won't travel with me, but at home, I'll see them a couple days a month. And there was this list, and even with a little attitude about it, like impossible, 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 impossible. Here, God, here's my order for a partnership or whatever. There we go. I swear, not days even went by, and some bizarre thing happened where it was like, I met this person, And it was not even normal circumstances. I just went and sat in my usual cloistered way. I went and sat in, at this restaurant, Mexican place. Hi. And they go, oh, yeah, we know what you want. It's always a tortilla, tons of cheese, tons of butter, and a soda. That's my dinner every day at this place. So I go and I'm having my quesadilla and soda. And there's a party of people over there, and they're just kind of noisy and partying. And one person in the group said, hey, you. What are you, a Philistine with that curly hair? This is what the girl said to me. What are you, a Philistine? Get over here, party with us. I'm like, no, I'm good. There's a girl over there sitting by herself. Hey, you, get over here. And we both pick up our stuff, obeying the loud leader of this, and sat down, and they sat us next to each other. It was the weirdest thing. Next thing I know, yeah, and I've never dated. I don't know how to do this. I'm like, so what sign are you? No, I don't know what I said. But I just tried to stumble through. But at some point, it was like, well, okay, let's get together again next week and have dinner here again or food here again. And within a first meeting with this person, I kind of said, she said, well, I'm not really looking for a partnership. Me neither. Okay, then why are we talking? Well, this is where it went. It was like, okay, I'm on tour. I do a lot of teaching, so I'm on tour a lot. She said, well, I've been dumped at the altar, so I don't want anything serious. I'm like, that's perfect. I'm never around and you don't want anybody. I swear. And we began seeing each other for about a year. Yeah, it was amazing. What I'm saying underneath it. This was impossible. But I gave it up, surrendered it, and it was perfect. Someone who couldn't do, didn't want to do, all this, it was so perfect. And it was fantastic. And they wanted healing and, and so they could be, and we could spend time and working on issues and healing. And it was fantastic. And we created a 1 year, it was a 6-month contract. Let's do this for 6 months. Because that's what you do sometimes when you're wounded, is give yourself a parameter so you can move within that. So let's do 6 months. We did. 3 months. Let's do 3 months more. We did. Let's do another 3 months. It was so beautiful. A year was up, and then she said, I feel healed and ready for the full thing now. And I said, I'm still on tour. And she said, I know. She said, I was hoping it would be you, but I know it's not. And we said goodbye. And she still called a couple times, when she was dating other people, and she'd ask for advice. I'm hiding in the bathroom. Here, what do I need to do? He said this, and I said this, and he said, what do I do? And I'd go, and I'd give her, okay, like Cyrano de Bergerac, So I'm like giving this advice, and she would apply it. And lastly, this wonderful girl, she ended up married happily. But she married the guy that left her at the altar. It all went full circle, and I remember telling her, she said, well, why can't we go further? Well, I'm not available. I said, but he's thinking about you. I can feel it. And this guy's long gone for like a couple of years. I said, no, I can feel he's thinking about you, and he's coming back someday. And she's like, it's not a chance. He didn't just leave her at the altar. He disappeared, wouldn't let his parents tell anybody where he was. He was gone. Okay, he was ghosting, this girl. And yet they got back together. So guys, what seems impossible is entirely possible, but not while you're wearing identifications. I know you think identifications are cool. They make you feel belonging and all. It's not real. And I can tell you it's not even healthy to have fake identifications, because they will lead to limitations in your life that will feel miserable at some point. Put financial limits, put sexual limits, put whatever it is, they're going to come back, and you're going to have to live in that constriction, deal with that constriction. Practice instead saying, I don't know. See, that's a prayer. I don't know means the ego I doesn't know, and the real I is willing. Then God says, oh, you are my beloved child in whom I am well pleased. That descent of the dove onto the shoulders head of Jesus, saying, you are my beloved child. That's when you know you're getting it. It's not that you have to hear the voice. It's that it does happen. When you say, I don't know, show me, even if it's just a daily decision you're making, the mother can come in and say, thank you. You gave up your false identifications. Throw away the false IDs. Go back to knowing who you are in me and me in you. Then the mother births the Christ that we are. It's a second coming, but births the Christ that we are. I need no AI, I need I am. Please take a few centering breaths. Today, instead of a guided type of meditation, I would like you to relax your breath, allow the notes of music, allow the frequency in the room, the love of God to be present. Let the words, be it song, chant, let it take us. Let us enter that space of the words. Let's be in the vibration of the words, prayer, the love of God.
So wise to hear your voice inside, the one that's been there through all time, guiding you along, awakening you to your song. Has it all been for the great search for the soul behind all the lies? Our stories kept deep inside of who you think you are, a life you thought you could devise, but here you are again, questioning all that you can. Flow like the river. Flow like the river, and surrender to the unknown as your path is now shown. The more present you can be to each moment, you will see the blessing of this life revealing in its own time. And if you're patient, you will see everything is meant to be. Everything is meant to be.
Be patient. Be patient. Everything has a purpose. It's reflecting the God I am or the ego I am not. And in both cases, there's a value in seeing it for what it is. The God I am, I breathe in. The ego I am not, I exhale away. Peace. Peace, be still and know I am God. The voice of God calling you to remember. And I thank you for your willingness. And so it is. Thank you so much. I hope you were able to connect, not just listening to a song, but connect. Like I was hearing inflections in the plucking even, like just hearing ring ding, and it just, and I allow that to do something inside of me, that like awakening and sparking open and, just connect with things at a deeper level, much more shamanistic in the sense that you join with these things, not look at them over there, but connect with them, feel those things. If you can't do it here, you won't do it in any other dimension. Thank you. What did you learn or hear today that made the most sense or might be the most important for you? Anyone want to share? Yes, dear.
Everything.
Everything. Anything else? No, that's everything, isn't it? Yes? Abundance, abundance. So abundance. Isn't that a great one? Especially playing off of the fact that people wanted it to be about money and he made it about consciousness. You're just so happy that you move, We're going to do our collection prayer and our closing prayer as well. So we'll do our collection. Please be as generous as you can be. After the service is over, Ananda Das will be at a table in the foyer over there. Did you bring products? He's got products with him, but he's also got personality and presence to say hello to. So go and say hello, okay? Share and give thanks, and leave any extra donations you might with him at the table. There's a basket there. So please be as generous as you can be for the service today. Your donations go in the purple bags. The green baskets are for any extra donations you can share. That's for projects that we're involved in or people of lesser means and so on. So together our prosperity blessing is divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you. While they're passing those out, I'll just share a couple of quick announcements. First, next Sunday, I'll be facilitating a workshop, afternoon workshop on mastery and healing. So this is like, you could be a beginner, but what I'm saying is that they're very deep concepts on how to live mastery, how to awaken the master, the level of consciousness in us that is halfway home. There's human, mastery, and divine. Mastery is learning to live in that mastery consciousness, but not in a detached kind of way. It's how to integrate mastery into your day-to-day lives. And the chaplains will be doing a healing circle after the service. You're welcome to stay and add prayer to that, to add to the vibes, but also you can stay and put your name in the hat, as they call it, the basket, to receive healing, all right? Anybody that's interested in a private session with me, you can do that. Just call the office or go online and ask, but you can call the office and they'll help you schedule something like that. But anytime you're in immediate needs and or funds are an issue, you can call the office. We have several chaplains trained in hands-on healing, prayer work, counseling, spiritual counseling, and they can also help you. We try to do as many things as possible at little or no fee. We have crystal bed sessions available in the round room out here, the yurt, the healing room. Crystal bed sessions are pretty phenomenal. Social media, if you're watching online, bless you and thank you. You can like and do all those kinds of things. Subscribe. If you're online, even if you're in the room here, just know you can watch these. You can go on and watch YouTube. They're free. There's hundreds of talks like this, but they're free online in our YouTube channel. But also online, we have Monday groups. You just go to Friends of Michael Mirdad Facebook group. It's a private group. Go in there, and then we have Monday talks for like an hour plus, and just deep sharing on whatever topics. It's a little looser environment than this, and deep sharing. Every other Saturday, we have what's called the Daughters of Heaven Facebook group, private group. And that group, it's much more devotional oriented. A lot of more conversation about Christ consciousness, the Divine Mother, and so on. So you can join that group as well. But just know that we have other things that you can participate in. We have a really fabulous group called the Search for God Study Group. That's from the Edgar Cayce material. It's kind of Edgar Cayce's version of A Course in Miracles, meaning there's text material, but then there's lessons. And it's been phenomenal. That's first Sunday of every month, so in 2 Sundays from now. We do a deep read about it and go into that. Then every other Saturday in the evening, we go back and look at how the homework's going and how we're doing in our lessons. But that's really deep because it's applicable stuff. There's, every so often we mention there's an angel healing room. It's just a block from here. All kinds of healers. There's flyers in the foyer, but if you're here living or if you're visiting, check it out. There's Reiki, massage, reprogramming, techniques that are done there, cranial sacral work, all kinds of healing modalities are practiced there. And on Sunday, May 31st, I've already mentioned, that's the Mastery and Healing Workshop. So you can look online or look at flyers in the foyer, more information about it, but sign up as soon as you can. And lastly, tickets for the Daughters of Heaven conference are on sale. There's usually a couple hundred people, and it's months away, but we've already sold half of those. So please sign up for the Daughters of Heaven conference. Now, to know more about it, go to the website. It'll tell you more about it there. There's interviews with the different speakers and so forth, but fabulous roster of speakers and musicians. But it's not about the talks we give. It's about the frequency of dropping into being daughters of heaven, meaning souls dedicated to God. It's like light workers. They're like Navy SEAL light workers, man. It's like another level of light workers that are just, and it's really beautiful. It's not intense. It's those of us who are really feeling a dedication to the Mother, to Kuan Yin, to Mother Mary, to Jesus, to Christ consciousness, to love. It's really, really got this beautiful sacred vibe that people out there, some people are done with just the light workers conversation, which is fantastic. We're all light workers. But it's like you want to go to another level where you can not just be a light worker who's talking about frequency and sound healing and higher dimensional beings and channeling, but a light worker who says, I'm going also back to talking about the Mother and not steering away from sacred words like Christ or Jesus. I'm going to go back and embrace these things and see them at a new level because you can feel it. The daughters feel that presence. They feel that, wow, people that I can really open up a new level of my spiritual beliefs, convictions, and devotions to. So it's really, really beautiful. So join us if you can. Sign up for the conferences if you can. Please stand for our closing prayer. And a final thank you, gratitude to our guest musician, Ananda Das. Breathing in, just that centering. Gratitude. What if there really is a God? And I assure you there is. And what if God does answer prayers? And I assure you God does answer prayers. And what if you've been praying consciously or unconsciously that you would like something new in your life, a new level of life, consciousness, prosperity, friendship, romance, whatever it is, then you've brought that and God answers prayers. Now it's a matter of let go and let God. Just know that you're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. Your presence alters the vibration in the room, and we're all grateful for you. You could be the person asking about despair or ascension. And we love you perfectly because what you brought is in us all. We need to know what to do with despair. We need to know what to do with depression, which is a need for depressed. We need to know what to do for ascension. Everybody plays a part in this, consciously or unconsciously. We're so grateful. The people online as well. Their questions were heard and were addressed as much as possible. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we go, God is, I am, we are, and so it is. Peace be with you all. Thank you.